Okay, so this one is for you, dear Libra. That's you. Okay, this is Tarot Illumination. This is your general spiritual report type thing from May 2018. Okay, we have this construct called time, and it seems to work, and we have the 12 zodiac signs, and everybody seems to love that. So we're just going to go for it. All right, cards are well shuffled in advance, even before recording. And we're going to go to the last second so that you're a witness. No jumpers, no flyers, no oracles, no reversals. The cards are beautiful as they are. Thank you. Excuse me. Anyway, Libra, hi. This one is probably kind of a quirky month for you. I'm just going to do what I've done for the others because it's such an important month. Here you go. Let's keep it very simple. There's Libra, May 2018. The astrodoodle looks like this. There's Libra on the horizon, sun or moon or rising, okay? And right at the end of April, in the first 2 weeks of May, you've got the big ripple effect, the after effects of the Taurus Scorpio full moon. Can you see that? There's Taurus, there's Scorpio. So the sun was right here. It's still there for a couple of weeks more, and the moon was right there. So a very strong indication about the relationship dynamic. And for you, that would have happened in the area of your second and eighth house to do with intimacy and resources, joint intimacy with a very deeply significant other. So how that works out, that's really kind of up to you. You might be on the receiving end of some very powerful, the healing power of love in ways that occur through intimacy. Okay, you could also be experiencing radical shifts and changes in what constitutes intimacy in your life and what you really value in your life when it comes to those kind of relationships. Like what you thought was is no more, and it's radically getting shifted and changed, like earthquake quality of shifting and changing. Why? Because we've got the big shift Taurus energy here. Can you see that? Taurus energy, May 15th. It's the big Taurus new moon. And simultaneously, Uranus moves into Taurus. It's the big gateway for the next 7-year journey. It's happening this month right now, in the middle of the month. And for you, it's right there in your 8th house. Okay? Like the energy of Pluto, the energy of Scorpio, the energy of deep transformation, the shifting of going into the depths of the depths beyond, into the shadowland, and then coming out the other side. There you go. There are certain key words that they use with that house: sex, death, transformation, taxes, inheritances, and like sexual healing, things like that. Okay, and of course the shadow aspects of all of that, which is not pretty. Okay, so anyway, you'll be discovering that in an epic journey starting at a theater near you. Okay, May 15th for the next 7 years. Thank you very much. Triggered every year around this time. Thank you very much. There's your reading. Bye. Anyway, let's get on with it. Let's just do the cards. So that's what we're here for. Sorry, I went on a little bit there. The thing is, none of your it's just a quirky energy for you, Libra, okay? So I don't want to get too deep into the astro stuff. We're here to read your cards because it doesn't really matter about the astrology when we do tarot in this way. So there you go. We're going to use the journey of the heart spread here. And please invite your angels. Tarot Illumination angels are here. We're sharing with you. Please share yourself with us, okay? And do it by invitation. They like to be invited. All right, I'm breaking this deck up. Seriously. In very strange ways. That was a very strange cut. But that's fine. We're dealing with Uranus energy, okay? So here we go. Excuse me, I need a little sip of my herbal beverage. All right, there we go. This would be the heart energy of you at the very core. Heart knows what it needs, knows what it wants, and it's up to you, Libra, to listen and understand. The heart works so hard to keep you going, and when you ignore that and abuse that, the heart suffers. It's a very powerful organ, but it does suffer, okay? if it's not treated and loved properly. And it's up to you to love that and listen. Love you first. Love thyself. Okay. So we'll listen to this. You may not know what this is, but it is there. Over here, legacy energy. What are you bringing in with you, Libra? Maybe you had a really bumpy time through Aries. You know, that would have been your solar 7th house, for example. If you look at the little doodle here, it would have looked just like this. Okay? Sorry, it would have looked what am I doing? It would have looked just like this because this is your chart, but you would have had the journey through your 7th house, which is the house of polarity on the relationship dynamic right there, you and a significant other. This is not a love and relationship spread or reading. You can get a separate playlist for that, okay, at Tarot Lumination. But for now, you might have come out kind of like dazed and confused. Let's put it that way. That wouldn't surprise me at all. You might be blindingly stupefied with new levels of awareness, but to me, statistically, it's more likely that you'd be dazed and confused. So don't worry about it, okay? We're going to allow for that. And next over here is the energy of the now, the ever-present now, where you own all your power. Forget the past, forget the future, just being in the now. Of course, for a lot of people, that's very uncomfortable because it means having to be present, having to be grounded and conscious and present. Be conscious, be grounded, be present, be here, be now. And it is in the now where you own your power through the healing power of your decisions, because that's how you execute your power, activate your power, which triggers your evolution. So how do you do that in ways that are effective to love you so that you are loving yourself? Optimized would be the word, so that you are being optimized and you're consciously, deliberately optimizing yourself. How would that look? Oh, excuse me, an alarm. Hold on. Yeah, I have to acknowledge these things. I'm sorry. I'm on a clock. Like all of us. Okay, thank you. Sorry for the interruption. So that would be the consequence. Now, Libra, if you're in the habit of giving away your power and staying either in the status quo or projecting into the future and totally ignoring the now, then this energy here might feel like fate, like what the bleep happened, or like where did that come from? Or I told you this would happen, like it's just fate. What can I do? Hey, life sucks. There you go. Or life is awesome. I told you that was going to happen. It's just fate. There you go. So I like to read this to get you as close as into your power as possible, okay? But we slip up. We're not always there all the time. It's so hard to do. So we oscillate in and out, in and out, in and out as we intimate and separate through life, especially with our loved ones. So what does it look like when you're in the zone? You're totally in the zone, in the power. You are almost unaware of your own existence, except in the sensation of the experience of being in your power. What does that look like? Okay? How does that feel? And what does it look like when you're out of the zone and you mess up, or you slip up, or you trip up, or you're just abandoned, or you've deliberately abdicated? What does that look like? It's the same energy, but it's the shadow side. Okay, so over here is the momentum that leads you straight into the next heartbeat. Please see the heart there. Please, I hope you can see that. It's very crude, but if I had zillions of cards and an hour and a half spread readings, then you could make it very, very ornate and gorgeous. And if they were tiny little cards and they could all fit in. All right. And then here is the core itself. These are all the rest of the organs around you in your body and your life and world around you, but this is the heart at the very core. We're going to look at circumstantial energy in just a second. And you, Libra, like we're invoking with everyone else, you're going to make the best of it, okay? Because you have to, okay? It's just weather, okay? You don't want the weather to control you and completely dominate your life if you can help it. It's best to make advantage of it. So you have the Knight of Swords. So you might be kind of on a roll with this right now. Circumstances are maybe indicating like, Libra, wake up. Libra, seriously wake up. You need to be very, very much awake during this period coming up. You do not want to be caught off guard. For example, in some of the readings I was giving the analogy of everybody on the planet being led through this massive weird funnel thing into a gate and up a ramp into a whole new way of being. Wherever this thing lands in your chart, wherever that is, okay? And for you, it just happens to be here. So the funnel leads to here, okay? And it's in that funnel where people can often feel very disoriented And in the lead up to the funnel, and they might be thinking, oh, wait a minute, there's something weird happening in my life. I need to get off the bus. I need to get off of this path and jump back onto what I know, and everything will be just fine again. But there's no way out of it. And if you're squirming, uh, to, to me, this feels like it's like the weather is saying, come on, Libra, it's going to be okay. You're going to be fine. You've got to trust in the processes. These are events and, let's say, planetary energies and forces that are much larger than you as an individual. Don't fight this. Understand this and learn from this. Grab this, seize this moment as an epic time in your life to go deep, to go seriously, seriously deep, to the point where it might be like an oh gulp moment. Okay? That's okay. You can handle it, Libra. The rest of us are having to deal with the same stuff somewhere, somehow. What about at the core heart level? Let's have a look. King of Wands. Okay, well, it seems to me in some ways you're doing a really good job already. In some way, maybe you've done a lot of homework on yourself, and the heart is pulsing in this very majestic way without having to explain itself. It's just living by example, where you, Libra, in the heart and core of you, are already, let's say, not just poised, but you're already ready for this. You're already, in some ways, like sensing and seeing events unfolding in front of you. You're fully primed and ready to go for it. Uh, Almost like taking center stage here, like saying, "Excuse me, everyone. I'm lining myself up now for this new journey ahead. Thank you very much. It's the journey of my heart. I love myself. I love myself very, very dearly. And if you don't mind, I'd like to bring my entourage with me, and you can bring yours with you. But I'm staying right here, and we're going to go for it, okay?" And the heart is saying this very, very loudly. There's no apologies here. Oh, excuse me. All right, that's it. That cut it off for real, total. There you go. So that was the alarm. I don't know if you heard it or not, but very annoying. Sorry about that. So now, if you're not feeling this way, Libra, as like the person watching this report, then it's a message that the card is calling out very loudly for you to pay attention very loudly, to be this way, to find ways to carry yourself and bring yourself into majesty, bring yourself into mastery, bring yourself into a posture and a position, and finding ways to conduct yourself and carry yourself from the heart outwards into your waking world around you, where you carry that aura of majesty and inspiration and leadership, where people can just smell it and they can see it in your aura. You don't have to shout about it or anything. It comes out of you, living by example. The heart wants to do that. The heart wants to be that. The heart needs to be that. It has to happen. The heart is calling out. It wants this growth. It wants this evolutionary change to happen, especially in that department of your life. So it's up to you to listen and respond. You in your conscious mind, okay? Let's see, what are you bringing in with you? Okay. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, with the death card here, this to me resonates very, very, very loudly with the 8th house energy over here, where it looks like you've pretty much lined yourself up. It looks like you already know you're going through deep transformational shifts and changes. You're poised for it. You're going to conduct yourself responsibly, majestically, proudly, and in a very dignified manner, and just let it happen. In other words, this is not going to phase you. It is going to be really, really deeply transformational at the soul level. And it is going to have, it's going to change the whole landscape of your life. And when it comes to intimacy and joint resources in those 8th house concerns, even in perhaps physical relationships, deep shifts, deep transformations are happening where what you thought was the status quo is going to be systematically obliterated, okay, and no way out of it. And then it's up to you to adapt with the transformation. Ultimately, even though this might be very scary at points, it's ultimately for your good. It's ultimately for the good of your soul and your evolution and the nurture of your heart, okay? And you know that. You already know this coming in. And it's almost like, I don't know how you know that, Libra, but for this card to be here, it would require that you've done a lot of work on yourself already. Okay? It's almost like you're heading in this funnel, going through a portal, through some kind of magic revolving door gate, coming into a whole new paradigm of existence, whole new protocols for everything and how it works in the eighth house, in intimacy, depth, and joint, deep intimacy with others, the loved ones in your life, in your world, knowing that the landscape is going to be completely radically transformed, like what happens in earthquakes, and then a new horizon appears on the other side. And this is going to be continuous. It isn't just one click moment, it's a continuous moment. It's moments followed by moments, okay? Let's have a look at the ever present now. My gosh. Wow, okay, so Libra, you've got a couple of heavy duty cards here right at the beginning. So in the ever present now, my feeling is that I don't want to get you too excited here, but it feels to me that you're anticipating this, you know this, you want all this to happen, and you're somehow or other you've got the courage and strength to live through this. Uh, just call it a mystery without having to know the answers. It's almost like, to me, it almost feels like you're almost like a guiding light here, where you are taking front position here in this journey because it's so challenging to go through the eighth house of that energy. This is seriously oh gulp energy. Oh my effing cheap, all these like blasphemic words that I'm not going to say on this channel. Holy effing bleep, for example. And you're saying, okay, well, just watch me, people. I'm already primed, and you're going to all have to understand that we're all going through this together. It's almost like you're uh, reciting tarot illumination, tarot illumination reading, and you're saying it's going to be okay, everybody. Just watch me, follow me. You get along with the program, be part of the entourage. It's going to feel weird and trippy at times, and we're going to be constantly breaking through the veils, the next layer of the next layer. So it's always going to be like a mystery that's unfolding when you stay in the present, in the now. The thing is, when you're off kilter and you're not present in the now, it could feel, my feeling is that it could feel very mysterious and disorienting for you. And that would be a trigger for you to get back into the present, where you allow the mystery to unfold, where you allow whatever you need to know to come to you when you need to know it. Nothing more, nothing less. And then you just live with that. No explanations required, no apologies required. And it's like you become a living example of the mystery. So if you try to deny this and just stick to the status quo of your life, this is going to feel very uncomfortable and weird. If you try to manipulate this energy to steer it towards what you think should work for you in terms of your brain and your egoic self, for example, this could end up being very disorienting. However, if you stay totally pure and present, this would be much more like a magic, like a mystery, like an unfolding, beautiful uh, novel, like a mystery novel or something. Okay, let's have a look. What about the ever present now, where you're making your decisions? Okay, in the position here for your, when you're making your decisions, to me, it's an indication that you really need to answer to yourself and yourself alone, and don't apologize for that. Making sure that you're very aware of how incredibly fortunate you are to have got yourself, somehow or other, however you did it, got yourself into this position where you have all the resources that you need to be this fully, newly evolving and integrated self, knowing that these big shifts and changes are inevitably going to happen and there's no way out of it. It's almost like literally packing your bags with everything that you need. Uh, like, what's that journey card? Don't Let's not worry about that, the other cards. But this is like knowing that you have everything that you need, the skills, the talents, the resources, and that you're very, very gifted in the status quo, in the now, in the present, having earned that and worked for that in what we call the past, and how this is going to be very valuable for what we call the future. And so this is good. This is very, very stabilizing energy, which can help, let's say, ground you through this journey. Now, through May, of course, we're just talking about a little reading here. It's just for May. It's just that it's such an epic part of, it's just an epic moment in astrological history. So this, it's like you've got all the goods and resources to enter into this world, enter into this new paradigm where everything's going to shift and you're going to be fine. It's like having the perfect backpack that will survive 7 years, and you've got everything in there you need, like your special high energy bars and super water filter things, and plenty of currency and gadgets and tools and resources and fold out beds and cots and pillows and everything that you need to live this amazing journey, plus all the knowledge, all the wisdom, all the raw ingredients. So that puts you in a very strong position. So how are you going to execute these decisions so that it does work for you, so that you can maintain your stature, your status, your dignity? Okay, the King of Pentacles here, you just do it. You just live it out. Okay, again, no apologies here. This is like literally the energy of taking charge, being the boss of your talents and all your gifts and resources, knowing that it's been an incredible journey just to get this far, where you have the authority and the dignity, the self-respect, and the respect of others to be able to do this. In other words, whether people are looking to you for guidance and leadership in this department, in this journey, or whether this is just about your own private journey, it kind of doesn't really matter. If you're just focusing on yourself, taking care of yourself, loving yourself, putting yourself in the leadership position, taking charge of how you're living through this, then that's going to like multiply the gifts and talents that you have already. Like the more and more you place yourself, let's say, first, how Libras are so much there for other people, but maybe it's time for you now to be you, put yourself first, and put yourself in the front of the line as you live through this journey that's starting out here. Others can look to you for guidance too, and that wouldn't be any kind of burden or weight to you. You would simply be living your journey and living by example. And then other people say, how Marianne Williamson said it, like, well, if you shine your light and you don't apologize for that, then it gives other people permission to do the same. So that's kind of what I'm feeling here from you, Libra. It's almost like, come on, people, just follow me. I mean, we can handle this. Don't worry about it. And so you just do it, because that's what leaders do. There's no one else in front of you. There's no one else to answer. The buck stops with you. You don't have to get permission to do this or be this or have this. You don't have to wait for somebody to say, okay, now. You don't have to do that. You are the boss. You are the leader. You're in charge here of making this happen. So consequently, to me, it feels very much about leaving the past and the status quo behind. I don't want to, this is kind of taking us way up in the clouds here, and I don't want to dampen the storyline that I've been feeling for you so far, but it does imply for me to tell you, I feel obliged to indicate that what I'm sensing here is that as you enter into this journey, and even at the very earliest stages of the journey, you're going to become vividly aware of everything that you're leaving behind on your spiritual quest, on your spiritual path, that you are deliberately, courageously facing right now. And I don't think there's anything really bad about this. It's not tragic or anything. It's just history. And it's like the evidence that you've lived a good life. You've made a lot of good, loving decisions about loving yourself and loving others, and that adds up. Okay, it adds up seriously, seriously, seriously. But time is relentless, like these planetary movements, they don't stop for anybody or anything. Just because you're having a really sweet spot doesn't mean you can say, stop planets, I just want everything to be like this all the time now, thank you very much. The planets kind of, they just don't, they just ignore you, and they just keep ticking along and going along, and then the next thing happens, and then the next thing happens, and the next thing happens. Well, that's kind of what this is here. My feeling is that you're underway with all of this, and it means leaving a lot behind. Perhaps a lot that you loved, perhaps people that you've loved, people who love you. And as things change, as things evolve, and all you can do is bless them, bless yourself, bless your enemies, bless your loved ones, and just let yourself evolve, live your journey, live the mystery. Don't be scared, and just keep going. Allow the deep transformations to occur. You can handle it. Now, what if you slip up? What if you forget that you've got all the resources that you need, and you start to wimp out and you chicken out? You think, oh no, I don't think I can handle it. I don't know what's going on. Oh no, it's too scary. It's too much of a mystery. I don't like mysteries. I like to know what's going on. I like status quo. Oh no, oh no. What happens? What happens? What happens? All that happens is you recycle all the pain that you've already lived through for this lifetime and every other lifetime before this in order to get to this point in the first place. Do you really want to do that? So over here, like when you do get in the zone, you understand that it is a perpetual journey and you just get on with it, then you start to realize, oh my gosh, it's a formula. I understand what Terra Illumination is talking about now. We move on. Spiritual evolution, thank you very much. Allow for the guidance of the night and just go through boldly. And it becomes the end of all the historic pain and the suffering. And you can enter into a new chapter. And you can actually start stabbing yourself in the back if you want to again, all over again, and go to the next level of healing and evolution. If you want to, you don't have to. You can take full advantage of the clear blue, the sun on the horizon and the clear blue seas ahead here if you want to. But the point is that this is like an end of a chapter. Huge endings. I'm feeling huge endings of significant life chapters, almost like what I would call lifestyle package deals, as the new journey starts to unfold in front of you, in which there are no clues here anywhere, not one clue about how this is going to work out. All you know is that you have to go for it and live through it, and that you're going to be okay, and deep transformations are going to occur, especially when it comes to leaving all the pain behind and allowing for the history, and that we all have to move on historically anyway. It's your journey. We all have to do this at some point in our lives. All of us leave behind the loved ones. The loved ones leave us behind, and so on and so on. What about the momentum? Kablam! You see? See what I was talking about? This wouldn't be here unless you'd earned this and deserved this. So to me, it feels like you're really like, it's almost like if you stick to the plan, Libra, you can make sure you stay aligned, allow for the cataclysmic events and transformations to happen around you. You live through it. It's almost like going through step by step, literally like this fellow on the horse, knowing that crushing, devastating events are going to be happening around you, to you, from you to others, from others to you, from circumstances to you, from you to circumstances. And there's no going back. That is transformation. And by the way, that's Jupiter is still over here in Scorpio in your second house, which is going to still be triggered for a good chunk of the rest of this year. So you're going to get inevitable deep transformations on your perspectives of what is it you truly value in this life. What are your true gifts? What is it what is it that really, really counts to you as opposed to what you thought counted in the past, okay? And then learning what the new thing is, and then going forward very bravely and very courageously, because there's no going back here with this journey that we're talking about. There's no going back. If you try to fight this, you will bring on radical pain. So the only way to go forward, the only way forward is through, okay? You can't sidestep this. You have to live through all this. Luckily, you're poised and ready to do so. You can't afford to slip up. Otherwise, you just trigger and recycle ancient pain. So it means staying very focused, very aware, being prepared to leave a lot behind, okay? A lot of love, too. leaving certain loved ones behind, and other ones leaving you behind too. But that's okay, because you're starting all over again at higher levels of understanding what joint resources and sharing and intimacy truly means to you. Okay. And it's beginning right now here, May the 15th, 2018. Thank you very much. I'm just going to leave it at that, Libra. I don't want to overdo it. You can reinterpret however you want. Watch your sun, moon, and rising. Watch, do the cross watching for your loved ones if you want to. And if you need a relationship reading, there's a whole playlist, okay? Go back to the channel and look for the playlist for love and relationships, okay? Thank you so much, Libra. Take care. Thanks for choosing Tarot Illumination. Bye-bye.